Good evening, sir.
Hi. I'm meeting Pippa Thomas.
Mr. Hewitt? Of course. Please, follow me. Miss Thomas.
Christ, you're even younger than you sounded on the phone. Thank you, Michael. You're on the staff over there?
Yes.
Staff writer?
Yeah.
Charles Morton, still head of editorial?
Just about, yeah.
What is he now, 190?
And the rest.
He hired you.
Do I give the impression I'm not worthy of having been hired by him? I've been there 18 months. For 3 years before that, I was junior political correspondent at the Inquirer. And the 6 years before that was spent earning a master's degree from the London School of Economics.
I know.
I think I can handle the conversational labyrinth of a cabinet minister.
It's a CV to be proud of, it really is. But please be under no illusion that Charles's name is the only reason you got this interview.
I doubt that. Don't you need to be over there for the vote?
I can monitor it from here.
You're the architect of the bill.
We've got the votes. I don't need to stand there and count myself. So, you want to quote on the bank fines?
Well, it's not all I want to talk about, but...
Let's just do our job first, shall we?
So,
what do you want to know?
Minister, has the government done enough to curb the immoral practices of banks manipulating foreign exchange markets?
The record fines issued today send a strong message to all those who think they are above the law. This is tough action to clean up corruption by a few so that we have a financial system that works for everyone.
Now, trading floors deal with £3.5 trillion a day in the foreign exchange market. Is £2.5 billion actually going to make a dent?
Yes, the Prime Minister and the FCA will not tolerate conduct which imperils market integrity or the wider UK financial system.
They broke the law, they paid a fine. Why no jail time?
It's impossible to determine exactly who did what, by how much and to what extent.
So you're saying that you can't prosecute the institutions and you can't prosecute the individuals?
The amount required to be spent by the government on legal fees alone before you even see the inside of a courtroom would negate any benefit to the British public.
Okay, so...
You need interviews, research, data analytics. I mean, you are already talking nine-figure sums. So, would you rather we spent £100 million on a lengthy legal battle where 3 years down the line a handful of people go to prison, or would you rather we spent £100 million on schools, hospitals and other public services?
Nice. I noticed Halberstrom weren't one of the banks included in the fines.
They were scrutinised alongside everyone else.
But a full investigation wasn't mounted.
No finite accusations were made.
You sat on the Halberstrom Board of Directors for 9 years before becoming Deputy Finance Minister.
Yes.
And you were a partner at Klein Westerfield for 13 years before that.
And I went to the LSE. It's a CV almost as impressive as yours.
Klein Westerfield were the main law firm used when the Ministry of Finance and the FCA outsourced the majority of the legwork in this investigation.
And my connections there meant I was able to cap their fee and save the expense to the taxpayer.
So it's just a coincidence that the bank you used to be a board member of, investigated in part by the law firm where you had been made a partner, failed to discover any illegal actions.
Of course not. They weren't picked out of a hat. I recommended them. I trusted them to do a good job, and they did.
Conflict of interest didn't apply.
There wasn't one.
It's not how it looks.
Financial Conduct Authority is an independent body. I had no involvement in their proceedings whatsoever.
Okay. I want to talk about your time in New York this past summer. How's the count? It's probably not the best week to introduce more financial deregulation. New York.
The city's so nice, they named it twice.
It's why I'm here.
Turn that off.
Do you stay in touch with any of your former colleagues at Halberstrom?
I thought you wanted to talk about New York.
It's relevant. Do you stay in touch with them?
I'm on their Christmas card
You're on
list.
their Christmas party list.
I've been to one or two.
7 in the last 9 years. Vincent Recht?
I know the name.
What about at Klein Westerfield?
I've stayed in contact with a few people over the years.
The other two Christmas parties. How well do you know Robert Klein?
Robert Klein is my daughter's godfather.
He also helped clear your son of some pretty serious drug charges a couple of years back.
You are on thin fucking ice.
I just want to know how often you keep in touch with
Those charges were dropped.
I'm not interested in that. Did you speak to them while you were in New York?
Who?
Vincent Recht and Robert Klein.
I was in New York at the request of the Prime Minister and the President of the European Union to lead trade negotiations.
Right. Did you speak to them?
It's not why I was there.
Klein Westfield's headquarters are in New York.
Yes, they are.
Habersham's largest offshore office is in New York.
Yes?
Vincent Recht and Robert Klein both live in New York. I'm not asking you about torture or phone tapping or the war in the Middle East. I'm asking how often you communicate with Vincent Recht and Robert Klein now that you're in the cabinet. We're off the record.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I make hundreds of phone calls every week.
Six months ago, whilst in New York for the EU trade negotiations, you made 19 phone calls to Vincent Recht in a single day. 38 that same day to Robert Klein. This is all available on public record through Freedom of Information requests, as is your travel schedule. The day after, Wednesday the 20th, the Prime Minister announced the conclusion of the FCA investigation and the publication of its findings. By then, Habersham's portfolio had jumped by more than $800 million in less than 24 hours. You see, they quietly offloaded high-profile assets for half of what they'd normally be worth. They then bet against those assets improving, and so after the report was released, they plummeted. That bet paid off for them massively. That 800 million became 1.6 billion.
What you're describing is one of the most common examples of the many thousands of transactions that take place every single day on trading floors across the world.
It's an incredibly convenient series of events.
A lot more money has been made in a shorter amount of time under considerably more convoluted circumstances.
These phone and travel records suggest you orchestrated this.
You think I was involved?
I think someone in your position would have had access to the conclusion of the report before the morning it was published. You visited the offices and homes of the two principal subjects in the days leading up.
They're old friends.
Yes. I think you told Vincent Recht about which banks would be under investigation and what type of assets would be frozen. Then you had Robert Klein broker the insurance deals under the name of a company that doesn't exist. I mean, he's good. They're fucking untraceable.
What do you think those conversations even consisted of?
The actual content doesn't matter. Anyone will be able to connect these dots and see you at the center of everything. You know, I found it particularly interesting when I got in touch with the personal secretaries of both men that they each denied the meetings with you even took place, despite being on your official schedule.
I don't have to sit here and listen to this bollocks.
Vetra Incorporated. Company that doesn't exist. It's not as untraceable as Robert would lead you to believe. If you're patient enough to follow the digital paper trail of the hundreds of transfers it takes to hide something like this, your tiny business, registered in the Cayman Islands, can be traced as the source beneficiary for at least 6 market manipulations like this in the last 4 years alone. And here's where you're really fucked. Because you practically said it yourself. You won't be going to prison. You'd be fired, unceremoniously. You'd be disbarred, banned from serving in public office, and any plans you had to run for party leader in Downing Street are out the window.
What do you want?
I'd like a comment. Well, no. I'd like a full interview before they take you away in handcuffs.
You intend to publish this?
Right before we call Scotland Yard.
You know, it's scary. You get younger every time. It's good. I'm glad. It shows that our universities and print press are still churning out marginally smart young people. It's not everyone who can connect the dots and has the balls to confront the primary subject to their face. Amazingly, you're the first bloke to have done that. So congratulations. Fourth time lucky, I guess.
Excuse me?
Thank you, Michael. Don't make the same mistake they all did. To get this far, only to confuse righteousness with integrity. You're smarter than that. And if you're not, you're at least smart enough not to ignore your survival instinct. Oh, fuck me, that's good. 75 years old. 8 grand a bottle.
You're actually threatening me.
If you continue to pursue this. These people are meticulous. No body, no electronic trail. You will simply cease to be. Your hard drives at work and at home have already been destroyed. Everything you backed up to the cloud has been seized and deleted. And Charles, the only person you spoke to about this, is an old friend who knows where his reach stops and my authority starts. Play ball, and you have a powerful ally who not only has a seat at the grown-ups table, but will be at the head of that table within 2 years. If you go through with this, you won't wake up tomorrow. I'd invite you to ask your 3 predecessors what you should do, but by now, I think you know you can't.
It's the 21st century. You can't just make a person disappear.
We do it all the time. I won. You need to decide right now. Will. So?
So,
What do you want to know?